Namaste. Let us start today's class. We have a slightly different format for the class today. So I'll explain that in a minute. But let us do a prayer, and then I'd like to just chant the first 5 verses, and then we will begin with the rest of the class. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik Tadrishyam Driktu Manasam Drishyadhi Vrittaya Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate Nilapita Sthula Sukshma Rasvadirgadi Bhedataha Nana Vidhani Rupani Pashyet Lochaname Kadha Andhyamandya Patutveshu Netra Dharmeshu Chaikadha Sankalpayen Manaha Shrotra Tvagadau Yojyatam Midam Kama Sankalpa Sandehau Shraddha Shraddhe Dhriti Tare Hrir Dhir Bhir Ityevam Adin Bhasayetyekadhachitihi Nodeti na astameti esha na vriddhim yati nakshayam Swayam vibhatyatha anyani Bhasayet sadhanam vina. So this completes the basic core, the foundation of the text, the first 5 verses, as we have said. And in fact, the very first verse itself does that, but with some explanation, it completes the first segment of the text. So, as I had promised, whenever we complete a segment, we will cap that up with a meditation, because this is all about, our own personal understanding. Personally, you can call it experience or whatever. It's not just information from a book, but this is the reality about ourselves, and we can try to approach it with a meditation as best as we can. So let us do that. So I thought what we would do today is the following, slightly changed format for today's class. We're going to start with a 2-part meditation. So this is what is done in the Vedantic Meditation. So the first part is the preparation for meditation. And this is not Vedanta, but it is just a preparation. And anyone can do this. There are many of you that have been using meditation from other sources, and you can continue to do that. We have our own simple way of preparing, which I will go through today. I think some of you have already seen this, so it may not be completely new to you, but this is what we do, and it's no harm in doing it again. So this is the first part of the meditation, which is not just Vedanta, it is just getting ready for Vedanta. Then we will do the second part of the meditation, which is the meditation based on the completion of a segment of the text, which is the first 5 verses. So we will do that. I'm not quite sure how long this would take, but my guess is at this point, maybe about 30 to 35, maybe even 40 minutes between the two of them. Then what I thought we would do is perhaps do an extended question-answer session. So extended meaning we can spend some time. I will open up. In other words, after the second meditation, instead of teaching a new section right away, which we might do if you don't have any questions. So what I will do is we'll start with looking at if you have any questions, and we'll spend any amount of time that you need for question answers. In case you don't have questions, then I will be prepared to introduce the next section of the text, which is beginning from verse number 6. So in summary, first we will do preparation for meditation. Second, we will do meditation itself. The third we will do is an extended satsang, which is your question answers. And if time remains, then we will give an introduction to verse number 6 and above. Okay, so I thought we will follow this. So with that, let me begin the first meditation. So which is called the preparation for meditation. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikalagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Neelakanthaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha. In the preparation for meditation, we recommend that you go through the following steps. But you don't have to go through every step every time. You can choose between them and see what is most useful and effective for you, depending upon how much time you have. You can do so. Once you become accustomed to the preparation, it should not take you more than a few minutes, and then you can switch over to the actual meditation. But for today, we'll spend more time on the preparation than normal because we are introducing it in this class. The first step is to find a place or time in which you don't have much disturbance It doesn't have to be completely quiet. In fact, all things we will discuss today are relative. There are no absolute values. There's no need to acquire a perfect solution. That itself provides some stress. Just a normal, relatively quiet place and a time in which your mind is fresh. For me, I do it in the morning, and my habit is to have a cup of tea. So you are free from any after effects of sleep. You can, of course, use your own judgment, but the mind is very fresh in the morning. After choosing a place and time, please take a seat where you have a good balance between alertness and comfort. Those should be the guiding principles. So your posture, asanam, should be such that you are sitting either in a chair or cross-legged on the floor, doesn't matter. But it should be a sitting posture where your body is not slouching, it's not resting on the back of the chair, but in fact it is reasonably straight with your hands in the lap, fingers clasping each other. You can vary it depending on your own desire. So the two guiding principles of the asanam are lack of slouching, which gives rise to sleep, and comfort. Be sure that your clothing is also not too tight, and the objective of the asanam is that for the duration of meditation, you don't have to change any of the positions of your limbs. In fact, the best asanam is the one where you have no awareness of the body. That might get some practice to get to that point, but the objective of a good asana, good posture, asanam here means posture, is that gradually the body consciousness recedes into the background. One recommendation we have for you is you begin the meditation with what is called sankalpa. A sankalpa means your decision, your promise to yourself. In fact, a promise to your own mind. And the sankalpa is suggested to be something like this. You tell your mind that for the next minutes of my meditation, my goal is to look at myself as I am and not through the roles that I play. This is what I want to do, and I would like your support in meeting this goal. So this step is useful in putting a frame around your meditation. You have some definiteness about it. It's not vague, but an objective that you have set for yourself, and by doing so, you signal to your mind to follow you. The next step is to begin absorbing your mind in preparation for the meditation. And we use the term absorbing carefully. It is not concentrating. Perhaps you can use the word focusing, but the best English word to describe what your mind needs to do is to be absorbed. This is not unnatural. Whenever you are reading a book, seeing an email on the computer, or watching something on the television, your mind naturally gets absorbed. when you are reading a book, especially when you see a youngster reading a book, he or she gets absorbed in the story, not concentrating, it's not even focusing, it's a natural absorption. Our teachers used to say that normally an unabsorbed mind is like a monkey jumping from one tree to another, branch to branch, tree to tree, not sitting quietly. That's not the nature of the monkey. Similarly is our mind. So the next few steps are to make sure that the mind naturally gets absorbed. How? Let us see. The first step in this process is to direct the mind to the one sense organ that all of us have, which is present in the entire body. That's the only sense organ that it's not located any specific place. It is the sense of touch. Excuse me. So the sense of touch is where our mind needs to be. Feel the sense of touch of your feet touching the ground. Feel the sense of touch or your hips touching the chair. Your back gently touching the back of the chair. Feel the touch of your hands resting on your lap. Now feel the gentle touch of the eyelashes of the top and the bottom parts of your eyes, gently touching each other. In fact, open the eyes ever so slightly. You can see the light coming in, and then gently close the eyes and feel the sense of touch of the two sets of eyelashes touching each other. do this one more time. Open the eyes just a sliver. And then close it. You can see just by doing this simple step without forcing your mind to concentrate, it gets absorbed, following your directions. Having done so, let's move on to the next step. In practice, you don't need to move from step to step. If one step gives you absorption, then that's enough. The next step is to mentally pay attention to any stored tension harboring in your body. You act as a virtual masseuse who systematically goes through the various parts of your body and makes it relaxed. You start at the very top of the head, check to see if your face, your eyes, your neck are tense. Pause and gently relax the portion that might have some stored tension. With that, move on to other limbs of the body. The arms, the stomach, which is notorious for storing tension, here there are a couple of techniques that one can employ to loosen up some stubborn areas of tension, like the stomach. The two recommendations of techniques are: 1, make an area even more tense consciously. Squeeze the muscles of the tummy even more, and then let go. The second technique is with each outgoing breath, let that area visibly become more relaxed. Visibly meaning consciously. Continuing with the tour of the body through your thighs, knees, feet, and an overall look. You can even revisit some areas, but you and your mind are totally absorbed in responding to any need for the tension to be taken care of. All these steps have dual benefits. You find that your body is relaxed, and also that your mind is more absorbed. They work together. The next step we will go through, and today this will be our last step for the preparation. There are a couple of others that we will do some other time, but this will be sufficient for the first time. And this step simply involves watching your breath. I'm sure many of you have done pranayama and may be experts at it. Here we will just do something very simple. In some ways, these simple steps are enough. We don't need to go into sophisticated pranayama as preparation for the real meditation. So here, turn your attention from the body to the incoming and outgoing breath. Observe how the breathing happens by itself without your attention. There is a beautiful relationship between breathing, breath, and your mental peacefulness. You can help the natural breathing by lengthening it a little bit and making it balanced between incoming and outgoing breath. We can use some advancement later, such as breathing not only through the upper part of the diaphragm, but even the lower part adjoining the stomach. But for now, just breathing rhythmically and relatively deep is enough. So now we will have completed the steps for the preparation for meditation, and we will switch into the actual meditation of the first 5 verses of Drg Drsya Viveka. We will do this meditation several times. So today's will be just a short introduction. And we'll go into more depth in the future. The Vedantic Meditation should be known to be different from the yogic meditation. The yogic meditation, Patanjali's, through the Patanjali Sutra, culminates in Chitta Vritti Nirodha, complete freedom from thought. Chitta Vritti means the forms of the mind. Nirodha means absence of. This is the Patanjali meditation. The Vedantic meditation is very different. The Vedantic meditation follows the teaching and follows the teaching with thoughts. The thoughts are not perceived to be a problem. The conclusion of myself falsely done is a problem. So the Vedantic meditation is to follow the teaching. This is why the Vedantic meditation is only done after a segment of teaching is complete. Here in this meditation, we see the distinction between the nature of something called Swarupa and the ability of something to borrow this nature and use it, called Swabhava. The Vedantic meditation I apply to myself by keeping this distinction between Swarupa and Swabhava. You must have already known that the example of fire and many other things that reflect the fire as an example of this phenomena. The nature of fire is heat. The Swarupa of fire is heat. It is not borrowed from anything else. That is its own nature. There is no question of the fire not being hot. Whereas a metallic vessel can become hot if in touch with fire. So the nature of a metallic vessel is changeability. It can be hot, it may not be hot. This is called the swabhava of a metallic vessel. All the other types of substances, like wood, plastic, water, air, all have a variation of swabhava. But as far as heat goes, none of them, with the exception of the fire, has heat as their swarupa. I apply it to myself. I apply it to all the constituents of what I consider to be me. If I look at myself in totality, I borrow the principles of Swarupa and Swabhava as it relates to my constituents. What I find is I am a person with a personality. The personality is my swabhava. The person that I am is my swarupa. My swarupa is that of a sakshi. And the swarupa is always always the same. Never not there. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. I'm always there. The person behind the personality is always the same. No changes. The personality does not touch me. It may change, but I don't. The Sakshi supports everything but does not need any support. The fire is naturally hot. It doesn't need anything to make it hot. Everything else needs the fire to be hot. Similarly, my eyes and the other sense organs, the mind, need me in order to be conscious. I don't need anything to be conscious. I am naturally conscious. The eyes borrow my consciousness to see. The sense of touch borrows my consciousness to be able to touch. But the Sakshi doesn't need anything. It is self-existing, self-aware, and it has no boundaries. Not as though I am conscious from morning to the afternoon and not afterwards. There's nothing limiting me to be conscious. So I apply the principles of Vedantic meditation to myself. You can see that this meditation is different. It is not to eliminate thoughts. It is to make thoughts see the reality as revealed by the Shastra. I have to see myself in a way that I never did before, in my own absorbed way. If I am able to do it, I am on my way for freedom. So with this I stop. We will do this again, but these two segments of the meditation are an introduction to the preparation for meditation and the principles of Vedantic meditation. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 10:54. So it took longer than we anticipated, but hopefully, and those also we were not able to complete all the steps. So we will do that again some other time. But at least you have an introduction to both the preparation as well as I was saying, how to meditate. That's really the main thing. We need to learn how to do that. That is what is the Vedantic meditation is. And for a while it will be guided by a teacher, and eventually you need to have your own process of following your own thoughts, which have been you can call it purified, but more importantly, which have been educated, the thoughts that have been educated through the Shastra, on what are the things that I need, how I should meditate, on what basis. So this will become effective for you as you go forward. And this is the method for doing it. So anyway, with that I stop. Less time for, not as much time as I thought for question answers. So I'll be here for any number of minutes that you want, and then perhaps we will not start a new section of verse number 6 until next time. So let me just see where you're at. Good. Good to see all of you here. Hope you enjoyed the change in format a little bit. So I think that we will continue to do this perhaps more often, in terms of whenever we complete a section, then we will do. In fact, I think we need to do some more meditation, even as an introduction. We haven't finished doing it. But once after we finish doing the introduction, then every time there is a new topic which has been concluded, then we will put a stop on it with respect to a meditation. So I will continue to do this. Hopefully you will get something out of it. Good to see so many different people. That's so nice. Really happy about the global reach of this class. So many different people. I'm very happy about that. Good. I think I think one thing that I have been, there was a person who said that I'm sorry I didn't register before, and I'm registering now. And what I replied to him was that this registration is not any kind of official thing that you have to take my permission or anything like that. But it is just for me to get to know you, because I really notice who are the people who are in this class in person and who might be looking at it later on. But sometimes if you make a comment like, even here when you say it's always a pleasure to join your class, that's good. I can tell who you are and if you have any questions and so on. So all I'm saying is that do feel free to write me an email and just even if you say yes, I'm enjoying the class, so that at least I understand you and know who you are. So this is a problem because in this teaching, a close relationship between the teacher and the student is, I'm not sure essential is too strong a word, but it's good. So there is a word in the Shastra which describes this. It's called Antevasinaha. Antevasinaha means, as the experienced of you know, a student who stays close to the teacher. And in the old days, really speaking, it was an all-day affair. You had talks, satsangs, work, office, etc. This is what happened for us in 2.5 years in an ashram. So in order to bring some very fundamental change in the way, transforming our personalities, that's not possible in these days, which is fine. I mean, we have to just go with the whatever the limitations are. But within those limitations, it is good that there is an attempt for the teacher to get to know you. So that's the whole reason for having the registration and so on. So anytime you write to me, that gives me an extra point to recognize who you are. Because at this point in time, really my challenge is that I have between the 3 classes, I was counting the other day, 240 students. And I don't know if I know all of you, but I'm beginning to. I know where you are and what your interests are and so on. So that's good. Anyway, just wanted to say that. Thank you, and we will see you next week. Okay, Hari Om.